Before operating any machinery, remove any loose articles of clothing or jewelry. Roll up loose sleeves or cover them with a lab coat. Tie back long hair. Wear safety eyewear and sturdy closed-toed footwear. The mill is a machine capable of performing many subtractive machining operations by removing material from a workpiece using various rotating cutters. The cutters are held using a collet or a chuck and are rotated at a cutting speed suitable for the material. Possible operations include side milling, end milling, face milling, and slotting. The workpiece must be properly clamped to the worktable, as the motion of the worktable allows the user to feed the workpiece into the cutter along 3 axes. Familiarize yourself with the machine. Look for the locations of the switches and safety stops and make sure you can always reach them easily. Alignment of the workpiece or the vise with regards to the table should be done first in order to ensure accurate results. Attach the magnetic base of a dial indicator to a suitable surface to ensure that the dial indicator tip can make contact with your workpiece along the entire length of table travel required. Run the tip of the dial indicator along the workpiece and adjust until no difference is measured on the dial indicator at both ends of the workpiece. Secure the workpiece to the table using clamps, bolts, or by adding it in a vise. Never attempt to grab a piece by hand, as the end mill may grab and rotate the part, causing serious injury to your hand. Parallels can be used to elevate the workpiece in the vise and ensure that it is sitting level. A light dead blow mallet tap can be used to ensure that the workpiece is properly seated. An edge finder can be used to set one corner of the workpiece or vise as a reference by setting this location as the point of origin, or the readouts or the handle dials along the X and Y axis. The tip of the edge finder measures 200,000ths of an inch. Therefore, to find the center of the tool, you must subtract 100,000ths. A piece of paper can be used to indicate the height of your workpiece relative to your tool. Paper typically measures 4,000ths of an inch. Lower your tool slowly until the paper cannot slide freely between the tool and the workpiece. Set the origin of your Z-axis 4,000ths of an inch lower. A chuck can be used with drill bits, center drills, and edge finders. End mills should use collets. Choose a collet size which matches the shank diameter of the end mill. To install a chuck or collet, ensure that the machine is turned off and loosen the bolt at the top of the machine using a wrench. Loosen the tool holding device and unscrew the bolt until the end mill and chuck fall out. To change a tool, follow the opposite procedure and tighten the bolt. End mills come in 2 basic varieties, center cutting and non-center cutting. Center cutting end mills have teeth which reach the middle of the tool and can be used to plunge into a workpiece in operations such as slotting and pocketing. End mills also come with 2 or 4 flutes. Ensure that you are using the appropriate end mill for the material and procedure being used. Before turning on the machine, ensure the machine is running at the correct speed and adjust the speed control dial accordingly. Ensure that the quill is locked to prevent vertical motion. The table can also be locked in either the X or Y direction if desired. Ensure that the tool being used does not contact the table or the vise at any time during the machining procedure. Ensure proper clearances at all time. The cut can be done using conventional or climb milling. Conventional milling occurs when the material feed direction acts against the rotation of the tool, while climb milling occurs when the material feed direction acts with the rotation of the tool. Truing and squaring a workpiece should be done first to ensure accurate results. To perform this operation, clamp the workpiece in the vise using 2 parallel surfaces. Face mill the edge facing up. Rotate the workpiece 180 degrees, ensuring that you rest the workpiece on the recently faced edge. Again, face mill the edge facing up. Now clamp the workpiece using the 2 new parallel edges and side mill one of the remaining edges to ensure that the workpiece is square. Finally, face mill or side mill the remaining edges. Ensure that your cut depth remains reasonable for the material and procedure being used. When plunging with a drill bit, lightly peck at the piece to allow for chips to clear and to avoid putting stress on the workpiece or tool. While operating the mill, use cutting fluid for most materials, as it helps to lubricate and wick away heat from the tool. Do not touch the tool or other rotating parts when the mill is operating. Stand at the machine at all times. Do not attempt to operate the machine from a sitting posture and never leave a machine running unattended. When finished, turn off the machine, unclamp the workpiece, and begin the cleanup procedure. Remove the tool and chuck, or collet, and put them back in their designated location, and sweep the chips from the table. Remember, if unsure about anything, never hesitate to ask a supervising technician.